What's up, kayaking fans? My name's Wesley Littlefield, the Kayak Kid, and today I'm going to talk all about the Nucanoe Frontier 12 versus the Nucanoe Unlimited. Which one is for you and which one should you buy? So I actually have purchased both, I've used both, I've fished out of both, and I really like them. Now, I wasn't displeased with my Frontier 12 when I went out and bought my Unlimited, but since buying that Unlimited, I'll just give it all away. That would be the boat that I would buy. Now, if you want to see the differences that made me come to that conclusion, that's what we're about to talk about. First, I'm going to go over the Frontier 12 and what I liked about it and what I didn't like about it. So this is the Frontier 12. Now, obviously, the lights are aftermarket. All the lights are. And I think I've got a bracket on the back that's aftermarket, but generally speaking, it's pretty much how it would be when you buy it. You know, I've got the seat and everything. We've got the hatch where I keep all kinds of, just kind of like a junk drawer, everything in the back. And then the tracks, I really liked how wide open it is because I do a lot of duck hunting, bass fishing, catfishing. Those are the primary things I do. And then I actually take it out on the river and we'll go on a float trip with me and my wife or me and my daughter. And so having the option to put another seat up front was what sold me originally on the Frontier 12. And then I've also got a duck blind that I can put on it. So, I mean, it's just like a all around, I can do anything I want out of the Frontier 12. We'll move on to the back. And the worst part about it, these are the only drain holes on the whole boat. And when you get water in the back, that stays there. It's actually lower. You can see mine, I cannot get that to go lower, and all the other boats that I've looked at, that's how it is where this back here will hold water. So that's a problem that I could deal with, but I was unhappy with. Now you can see my bracket here. I can actually put a trolling motor on it, or I actually have a like a 3.5 horse or 4 horse gasoline powered motor, and I'll show you a review for that. I'll link it right here. And I really like that bracket, but I can also take that bracket off and put it on my Unlimited and do the same thing with it. So that doesn't give the Frontier 12 an advantage. The main thing that I've noticed that the Frontier 12 has that the Nucanoe Unlimited doesn't have, and the only reason that I would even consider buying a Frontier 12 is actually for that front hatch. It made wiring really easy from the front, and it is just an extra storage space that I really miss on my Unlimited. Now, with that said, otherwise I would buy an Unlimited. I mean, you can go and get an aftermarket storage hatch. So it's not like you actually have to give up that storage hatch unless you're just not willing to spend the extra money that it's like 220 bucks or something. So it's not cheap, but it is still an option. Right now we're back over here with the Unlimited, and I'm going to show you the differences that I've got on my boat. But generally speaking, I mean, they're the same boat, wide open configuration kind of thing. I think the Unlimited is a little bit narrower, and that actually makes paddling it better in my opinion. I've taken them both on rivers, and I liked the Unlimited better on the river, even with 2 people in it. The one time that I was a little bit frustrated with how it was paddling was in the wind, and I had 2 people in it. Me and my wife were in it, and for whatever reason we just weren't positioned correctly. Either we were too far forward or too far back, something, and it just kept wanting to turn weird. But other than that, I haven't had any problems with paddling it. And like I said, when I'm fishing by myself, I really don't. And normally I've got a trolling motor on the front, which will start out. I've got the trolling motor bracket here, quick release bracket. I drop it on there, plug it in. I got it because of the handle. I didn't want to give up a handle on the front and, you know, for a trolling motor, but I wanted a trolling motor on the front. So I found a handle. I love that thing. You can get another, it came with a regular handle like my Frontier 12, but I knew I was gonna put this on there, so I didn't even bother with it. You know, it's got the rod tip protectors just like the Frontier 12. It's also got track all the way down it. I like this track where it's straight versus on the Frontier, it's actually angled weird. And so I actually like this track better. There was one thing, I don't know if you can kind of see it on the video, but right here there's a divot to put a power inlet, and that's exactly where I put it. Why I put it there was because that's where they recommended it, and it fit perfectly. I had to do a little bit of finagling, like, but for the most part, it was great. The next thing you'll notice difference are these channels, and that's honestly, like, this is what sold me. Number one, it's not nearly, the floor is not nearly as flimsy, and it doesn't give nearly as much as the Frontier 12. And secondly, it drains a whole lot better. Now, these pads were factory, they came stock, where on the Frontier 12, they don't either. So that kind of sold me. And there's another option here to put another track if you wanted to mount a depth finder or something in the middle on a track. So with more track options as well, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. There was tracks here, which I've had to mount some on my Frontier 12 that I didn't really like doing because I don't like drilling holes. But there's tracks here on this, you know, front and back, both sides. The handles are even better. You'll notice, that's what I didn't say, but you know, you see this handle, it's actually a rod holder, same on both sides. And the handles on the Frontier 12, which you can see, are great handles. I mean, I've used them, I like them, but I like these better. They're just sturdier, whereas, you know, you don't have that strap to get away with. The cup holder is actually molded in. You'll see there and there on both sides where it's a strap here. Now, believe it or not, I actually like the strap better because I do a lot of like Yeti big cups and stuff, bigger cups, and they fit better in here where it actually doesn't fit in this one. So yeah, I like it better, but I can live without that. I throw it next to my seat and go. The one thing I will step back and show, here's a, you know, you can keep your tackle box here or whatever, but it drains all the way through back to another hole, so you never have to worry about it filling up with water. Now, I would like a little catch-all bin that doesn't drain back out, just because I throw a lot of my like lures, instead of putting them right back in the box, I'll throw them in there during the day and then clean it back out at night. And I really would prefer something like that, but I mean, I still throw them in there and I haven't lost a lure yet, so I really can't complain too much. The next thing we'll talk about are these little plates. Those are awesome. You can see I've actually mounted my power pole button onto here. I plan on running some wires up here to power my fish finder. And the one thing I didn't think about, I thought there would already be a hole back behind here. On my boat, there was not, so I had to drill a hole and help run my wires for my trolling motor, which it really wasn't a big deal, but it just kind of surprised me. We'll move on back. The seats are a little bit different, but for all practical purposes, they're pretty much the same. They're 360, they both swivel. I do like this one better. It sits a little bit lower as far as the base. It's not as heavy and cumbersome. It just seems like a better design to me. You know, but other than that, I mean, they're both just as comfortable. They're made out of the same material, so it's really not like, the seat was not the deciding factor by any means. The next thing that the Unlimited has that the Frontier doesn't is built-in rod holders. It's got one here and one there. You can see it's got these tracks, which are a little bit longer, and then you can see once again it's actually got the divots right here on this side, and you can see right there for power, and that's where I ran my trolling motor power. I've also got a hatch here, and this is not dry, and that's my biggest complaint about this hatch, is you have to buy a dry bag to put in here. but it provides great access for running wires and stuff to the back. And so once again, it's really not that big of a deal. It's like a $20 bag or whatever you go and buy. Lastly, this right here is a game changer. I stinking love this handle. It folds out of the way when you're not using it, you know, drops out of the way, but it's sturdy, unlike the one on the Frontier 12 that is just a rope and a handle. Now granted, you can take that one off and use it to drag it forward and stuff, which I like and I've done, but for the most part I would rather have it secure, steady. It makes it loading a lot easier, and these are heavy kayaks, so having a sturdy handle is a must. You'll notice that I've got a little bracket here. This is aftermarket bracket from Nucanoe that I can mount a trolling motor on the back if I wanted to, or I can trade out and put my bracket from my Frontier 12 on here and run my big motor too. Man, it's hot. I'm wiping the sweat out of my eyes because it's like 90 something degrees here in Oklahoma in August. But that's the differences between the Frontier 12 and the Unlimited. As far as like stableness goes, I can't tell a difference. Maybe the Frontier 12 might be a little bit more stable, but I stand up and fish out of both of them and I don't have a problem. So I mean, stableness, it goes great. You know, the weight capacity is real similar. Like I said, I've had 2 grown adults in both of them. Haven't had any problems. I've actually had my grandpa in the Frontier 12 before and didn't have any problems at all. And I think I've had my mom in the Unlimited and didn't have any problems. So it, like, as far as that goes, it's really the same. I do think that the Unlimited paddles a little bit better, but if you're really considering it and you're gonna spend this kind of money, I'm going with the Unlimited every time, hands down. And those are my reasons. If you guys like these kind of videos, I've actually reviewed the Nucanoe Unlimited, which you can check out. I'll leave a link right here and in the description. And if you want to see some of my adventures where I'm actually in these boats, then I'll leave another video right here. Other than that, I want you guys to go live an awesome adventure. I'll catch you next time.